just want my brother.
Laika Studios. Now that is a company we haven't heard of in the modern day for a good long time. The last time they released a movie, it was 2019. It's been a full 7 years since the last stop-motion movie from these guys, and in a lot of ways that's kind of exciting. To actually be here for the upcoming campaign of a stop-motion movie like this is really exciting to be a part of. And I think on a meta sense it'll be really interesting to see how well it does, with the world a little bit more connected and ever-praising of some of the past masterpieces that this studio has made. And now we're finally at the point where the teaser trailer for this movie, Wildwood, has come out. Similar to Coraline, there's going to be unfortunately a lot of comparisons to that movie. This movie is also a book adaptation, so all of the story and world building is ready, planned, and baked in. For me, that makes me think that there's going to be a million Easter eggs in the background. That's the stuff I really like out of the likes of Coraline. Don't know the context of that, but hey, it's nice. A proper artsy scene beyond just family antics. Like, it's a rain scene. Can you imagine how hard it is to animate rain in stop motion? That's a good artsy thing right there. I hope this movie is artsy-fartsy. Of course I would say that. I want a million Easter eggs in the background like Coraline. How hard can that possibly be? But it also means that Laika Studios can just go off on one when it comes to the animation and not worry as heavily on all the intricacies of telling an original tale. I think it's the best natural fit for the way they've done things in the past. Though I will say, it is very interesting the direction they decided to take with this trailer. Because yes, almost this entire thing has no dialogue. And I, on paper, absolutely adore that. It's the most artsy, cinematic thing you can do. To tell us a silent stop-motion story is incredible. You've just got a few lines at the beginning and a few lines at the end. But unfortunately, it's not quite as cinematically intended as like some silent short film. Instead, what it is even all other diegetic sounds from this trailer. The sound effects, the background noises, all that kind of soundscape in the background has similarly been muted for a single pop culture track. It's fine. It's a type of trailer. For me personally, it is a little bit less emotionally investing. I don't get to hear the gasps or the expressions of the human characters when big events, even in this trailer, happen. Oh, they take the baby away. Is it a symbolism of a child that dies and it's like the grieving family, a mourning family of a young death in the family? I haven't even gotten to the Wildwoods yet. I'm just getting artsy-fartsy on the media literacy here. Though I will say at the same time, the lack of any diegetic sounds is an interesting choice. It's just a pop culture song planted over the footage that feels a little bit less emotional and more like a TikTok edit. But it's the first impression we get. Maybe I'd like it more if it was vertical, if that was the case. I don't know. It's a marketing strategy, and that's a little bit of a shame. But let's just put it down to marketing. It's still gonna hit those beats that are massively influential to many people's childhoods. So when it comes to the actual film, I suspect this will be pretty damn good. And especially, obviously, on the actual craftsmanship front, this movie is already a masterpiece. Stop-motion animation is one of the most intensive animation pipelines. That's a miracle to still be going on by multiple studios, especially now in the rise of AI animation slop generating over it, that horrifyingly they can do stop-motion effects pretty damn well as well. So it's so nice to see a bastion of human-crafted care and attention. So many of these sequences that were otherwise just written down for books must be an absolute ball ache to hand animate in stop motion, but Laika do it. And they clearly do it well. Oh, look at that hair. I'm sure that's like a long form thing that's done in stop motion now, but just the long strands of hair flowing in the wind, that's some animation goodness right there. Across the board, there's gonna be all sorts of visual mastery unveiling in front of you, and it's kind of a shame in a sense that we're kind of gonna glaze over it a lot of the time by the nature of how fast real-time animation is. 12 frames or 24 frames, they fly by pretty quickly, you know? All the while, the actual plot line, yeah, it seems pretty simple. Can you hear that? That's hail. I was worried I was gonna overheat because I decided to wear a brown jumper to feel like the vibes of Wildwood. Never mind, it's freezing in here. Practically ice particles walloping at my window. And it is lightning and thunder as well. Well, this is the perfect pathetic fallacy to get into the Wildwoods now, isn't it? There is a little brother character who's not allowed to leave the house. Everyone's very much being protective to the little dude. And then he gets taken away off to the fantasy woods that the older sister then has to explore to get him back. Fun, nice. Meet a bunch of fantasy animal characters in the other realm. Damn. A nice display of a bunch of standard animals. That's alright, fair enough. Posh poodles, I get it. And plug in maybe an artsy-fartsy, nice-looking shot of rain. That as well must be crazy to do in stop motion. Or is that like a tragic flashback? A deep, genuine, human emotional story as well? And you've got a succinct little storyline, clearly taking references to the likes of Alice in Wonderland and the general tropes of Another World, but with another blunt protagonist who just wants to take their brother and doesn't care for the rest of it.
I don't want any part of your fairy tale.
I don't want any part of your fairy tale. Interesting. Is this character really gonna push against the grain of the classic Alice in Wonderland archetypes that she's walked herself into? She's not gonna let her little brother be the king who decides where the war goes. She's just gonna rip him out and love him as a family member. Is that where we're going? Pull away your little brother's full potential? Return to family? Is that symbolic or something? I'm way overreading this. We haven't even actually seen the movie yet. Add in a backdrop of politics unveiling in this world that I know I'm gonna soak in the background. Oh my goodness, what was that? Okay, like we got bear and wolf people, I guess. Wolves. They're all wolves. The Civil War soldiers are wolves. Okay, they're not humans going into the world, only the two kids. It's very, Narnia. It's very Alice in Wonderland. The fantasy people are fantasy creatures themselves. I see. Okay, alright. Oh, and how are the kids like running around on the backdrop of some political outcry? And that's like a great bit. We don't need to see the intricacies of the war, but you know it's going on in the background. Look, the nerd's even dressed up as one now. I like it. And it seems like a nice, classic, fun little antic. A story that's already beloved, visuals that are incredibly well put together, and a trailer that really leaves me underwhelmed. I gotta be honest. Like, just silent sounds and music put over the top. I'm hyped only by concept and creators. This execution of this trailer, I gotta tell you, is just not for me. But it's just a personal thing, maybe.
Promise me you won't leave the house.
I wonder what this movie's about. A movie called Wildwoods. You're not allowed to leave the house, huh? Classic helicopter parenting techniques. Leashing their kids too closely until they're gonna go off on one because of the fact that you raise them to be so much on a tight leash. I see it already. Although it is nice to see a new Laika movie. And I really like to hope that they'll have another massive stop-motion banger in the modern day. They're always known for Coraline, which was like their first go. But I think this is the first time I've properly kept up with a Laika movie while it's in its upcoming phase. So hopefully we're a little bit more in tune to when they're making a new thing, and hey, maybe this will pop off. I hope it does. I really like the artistic integrity behind studios like Laika. So I hope this movie does well, one way or another. Hey there! Thank you for making it to the halfway mark of this video. Come subscribe if you haven't already for more animated movie trailers. Yes, we'll do a review on the final day, and all that good stuff. It's Laika, they're great. But otherwise, let's get back to the second half of the Wildwood teaser trailer. Beyond their home. Okay, so it's gonna stick to the sister and nerd boy friend in yellow coat, huh? Oh, it's back to another yellow coat, are we? Alright. I think I see what they're doing here. Again, feel kind of bittersweet about it, but I get it. Oh, whoa. Oh, see, this is what it's all about, man. The hand ripping open your chest. I mean, I assume that's an actual Clockwork guy. Like, it's full on Alice in Wonderland. Turns out they were a robot the whole time. But if it's not, and it's just like a symbolic thing, I love the symbolism, man. Even still, just the visual imagery of this is fantastic. What a cool idea to demonstrate for your animated movie. This story is interesting to see. I'm gonna admit, bit of a weird start to the trailer. Like, that's a harsh cut. It's not even like a mini trailer within a trailer that you usually see with these kind of things. Clearly, Laika run at the beat of their own drum when they do these things. But hey, you know, I guess it's still a sweet family scene. I think one of the things I am going to be really curious on is how well this movie does. Because we haven't seen the last one since 2019, and Laika themselves have all sorts of hype surrounding them, especially in the modern day when everyone knows a bit more when a movie's coming out. They don't just sort of shadow drop in the background. Maybe that's just me because I actually actively cover them, and I'm going to continue probably to cover these trailers assuming they don't flop like stop motion sometimes does on this channel. I like to think that this can be the movie that breaks the mold beyond another Laika success, because so often it's the case that Laika keeps having to repeat the accolades of their first movie over everything else they've made in the years since. Even in this very trailer, the only movie they reference as the one they made was Coraline. They word it nicely though. From the hands that crafted Coraline as well. Oh, I love the way that's worded. I do feel like bittersweet that they always have to reference back to Coraline because that is like their golden goose from the start. I wish they could embellish themselves more with their more recent successes, but Coraline is like one of the best movies of all time. It's up there, top 50, 10, maybe 20. I think this will be a very interesting case study, because I think in a lot of ways, Laika is on the back foot, with the rise of AI swirling around them at a far faster pace than 7 years. Lockdown obviously part of a factor in that. Whilst also they are a little bit less known for every movie they made after the first one, whilst at the same time having a large amount of credit and notoriety and hype around them that might do them all the favors in the modern day. I think it'll be really interesting to see how this rolls out. And though I'm not particularly a big fan of this exact format of the trailer, they also spend a lot of time of just, you know, the baby doing antics around the streets, which I don't think is the most appealing first impression to get you into the story. It's interesting so far. Obviously the baby's like the main central story beat, but they're not much of a character yet. Are they going to remain completely voiceless this whole time, just babbling away like a classic baby? Because I'm not sure when the last time I properly saw that in a movie was. Usually, every modern kids movie wants to make the kid already talking and as young as possible to hit the widest audience. So to have it be everyone else is handling this very young child would be really nice to see. The only reference that comes to my head is Ice Age 1 though. I'm a little outdated. I think I'm not really sold on the marketing front, and I'm coming in as well with like a blind eye. I don't know the original works. I come in more as a fanatic of the actual animation field and really hope it does well, one way or another. If you do want to support human-made craftsmanship in the film industry, arguably, this is the movie most integral to that, since it is the most human-made and the most at risk currently with AI, especially 7 years from now when they make the next film. But whether guilt-tripping people to come see the movie is an effective marketing for your movie, so hopefully they don't actually go that route. Beyond that though, I honestly struggle to have more to say, because this trailer didn't give me as much to bounce off of, other than making comments and or critiquing the actual narrative from the books, which isn't so much in the animation and the studio and the trailer. I got a million mumbles about symbolism since I didn't read the original books. Why do I feel like there's a plot twist coming? Like, the baby is dead, or something otherworldly about this child. It's a superhuman baby, or it's a symbolism for something instead, you know? The idea of sheltering a child if there's something societally wrong with them, and so it's so over-sheltered that it goes in the other direction when parenting them. Like, am I reading too much out of a silent montage otherwise? I have not addressed yet the bajillion of crows. What is this? A plague's tale? Is the child the marker of death? What's going on here? There's something to this. I'm sensing there's some symbolism going on here. And I do like the one time when shadows surround the baby. Ooh, oh, but it's a little artsy. I was saying it was grounded just a minute ago in my reaction, but the shadows growing on the baby, I wanna soak in all that kind of visual goodness that any other medium can do, sure, but when stop motion does it in particular, oh. But beyond that, I think we're gonna have to wait and see how more of the execution rolls out, and if this first trailer is any indication, wait until the actual movie to see what the quality of the whole thing is. Whatever the case, some people are very, very hyped, and I hope that does continue to the general populace, because I want a movie like this to do very, very well. So all the best to them. Also, we've seen so many frames in these tiny bits of trailer. Like, there's not much going on here other than a montage with no diegetic sound and just music playing over the top. Ironically, it takes me back to like TikTok from 2 years ago because that's probably when this was in production. But even still, you gotta remember, every single frame is a painting with this thing. It is an entire physically craft scene. This isn't a CGI piece. Even just the intricacies of getting that hand to turn that little lock key. Massive amounts of artistic craftsmanship. God, I hope I don't glaze over it when I'm watching this movie. Oh, okay. We have some, like, Civil War soldiers running into this fantasy land. I don't know how deep they're gonna go into that, but I do love when people mix, like, fantasy elements with modern-ish human infrastructure trying to get in and interact and commandeer. Where one choice, okay, can change everything. And what is that choice exactly? Stay or go? Live or die? Hold a child too leashly that they then run away? Or don't? Oh man. Because of the very nature of stop motion and it being so crafted, there's so many micro details you can see in the texturing and the actual model. So no wonder they're getting into broken down knuckles. What was she digging up? Is that in reality? Is that symbolic again? Am I thinking too much about symbolisms again? Yeah, okay, very nice. And that's Wildwood. Just a single wood, just one of them. Interesting. I will admit, it's a very interesting edit for a trailer. There's a whole 2 lines of dialogue, which is kind of bold, but the lack of any other sound effects as well, like there is no diegetic sound, I feel does make it a little less impactful. In the same way you kind of glaze over how every frame was manually crafted when you watch stop motion in real time. I feel like I couldn't sink my teeth into how hard this is meant to be an Alice in Wonderland subversion. But that doesn't mean it's a bad movie once we actually get to it. It's only a teaser trailer after all. Here's to October 23rd when we similarly will be doing a review on it. For now, my name's been Daz. Thank you very much for reaching the end of this video. Do tell us your thoughts on Wildwood. Give me some details about the original books that I clearly have not picked up from childhood. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and more, but otherwise, I shall see you all in a little bit. Cheerio!